We have 15 minutes after 10 o'clock. NBC Radio, the sound of the nation. And like I promised you earlier, we would have a sit-down, a chit-chat with Mr. Junior Bacchus from the Indian Heritage Foundation. He is already in studio. So let me say good morning to Mr. Bacchus. Good morning to you.
Well, a pleasant good morning to our listeners, to NBC Radio, and I assume our viewers on the Facebook Live. And I know my guys over there in Europe, in Turkey, and in the United Kingdom, they are also sharing in this program this morning. So a very pleasant good morning on the eve of another Indian Arrival Day.
And as usual, you will sit with us for, when these things come around to remind us about our close-knit society. We have integrated so much that we take a lot of these things for granted, but it's always good, especially for the younger ones, to know the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, how these things come to be.
Yes.
So first and foremost, there is a grouping that looks at all these things, Indian Arrival Day, the activities surrounding it. It's called the Indian Heritage Foundation,
Yes.
and you're a part of that.
Well, very much so. That foundation got started in 2005 with a little conversation, and then in 2006 we really gathered together as a people in Argyle and start the planning for the launch of the foundation. We got started in that year, 2006 in July, and since then we have been able to accomplish quite a lot of things. I mean, the relationship between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and India could not have been what it is today had it not been for the existence of the SVG Indian Heritage Foundation. We have been able to get the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in March of 2007 to pass the law to officially declare June 1st as Indian Arrival Day and October 7th as Indian Heritage Day. I could give you a little history of both occasions as we continue our conversation, but the Indian Heritage Foundation is really a gathering of people across St. Vincent and the Grenadines and by extension in the diaspora that are concerned about promoting the heritage and culture of the people of India. It is not a racist organization. It's non-religious, non-political, non-racial. But it is, the whole idea is to advocate and promote and share the history and culture of the Indian people as we were able to remain here following our trip here beginning on the 1st of June in 1861.
And like I said earlier, we've integrated so much now that we take these things for granted, not knowing where they started.
Yeah.
And every year we take a closer look at what is happening. So as we get into it, tomorrow, June 1st, there will be a series of activities that will be happening.
Yes. Tomorrow will be 162 years since the first ship landed here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. For a number of people really do not know much about the arrival of Indians, but most people will recognize that after the abolition of slavery in 1834, there was a demand for workers in these islands. They brought in the Portuguese, I think, somewhere from 1845, and then we got the Indians coming in here. Different parts of the Caribbean, but in St. Vincent in 1861, the first ship, the Travancore, arrived at Edinburgh. Many people wouldn't know, didn't know that Edinburgh was the port of entry at the time.
And not at Indian Bay.
Not at Indian Bay. The Travancore left Madras with 258 Indians and arrived here in 1861 on the 1st of June with 260. There were 2 boats on board, no one died. And they landed here with 260 Indians, and subsequently we had another 7 ships between the period of 1861 and 1880, bringing a total of 2,474 Indians to our shores. And they were dispersed on various estates, both on the windward and leeward end of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They were able to contribute to the work that was necessary at the time. So with 2,474 Indians arriving here over that period, you know, you had owners of the estate having a culture and a history of enslaving the blacks. And there was they continued that type of management style, and the Indians were suffering on many of these estates. So
yes, I had a conversation with a few who told me that it was the same shared experience between Negro descent and Indian descent. Same shared experience.
It only means they call one indentureship and one was slavery. Yeah. Indentureship was really a contract for labor.
To be paid.
To be paid.
And many were not paid.
Many were not paid and were to be provided with certain employment conditions that they were unable or refused to meet. And as a consequence, we had protests. In fact, protests started in St. Vincent in 1862 after the first ship. The second ship came in 1862. And there were the Creoles at the time, the blacks and so on, were protesting the conditions. So between September and October 1862, there were quite a lot of protests in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and things, they spill over to affect the conditions of the Indians who are now arriving. And as a consequence of that, we have seen the Indian people suffered and had to be working on all these estates. In October of 1882, we saw the conclusion of this whole indentureship system, because the last ship came in 1880, and we had a situation where the protests and demand for people to go back to India took place, because the contract was for them to come, work a period of time and go back. So eventually, out of the 2,474 that came here, 1,141 got the opportunity to return. The others remain. So those who remain, along with other Indians that came to St. Vincent over the period, either from other regional countries, some of them Indians here even leave and travel to other countries as well. We were able to integrate, as you put it, with the other persons that were here. So we don't necessarily claim that we are all Indians in the full sense of the word. We are all integrated. I myself consider myself a Douglas. My mother was black, my father is Indian, and so we have quite a number of people mixing and building this little island called St. Vincent and the Grenadines with people of all different race and descent.
And it's always so good to understand our history. When we do that, we know why we say certain things, why we do certain things, why we dress a certain way, why we eat certain foods. It isn't very important that we know all this. Tomorrow, Indian Arrival Day. What is happening tomorrow?
Yeah, well, tomorrow, because it's a work day, we are not going to have the usual reenactment. In fact, that will take place on Sunday morning. I will come to that.
Okay.
But tomorrow, with the help of my colleagues in the diaspora, we will be launching a new website. Let me just share with persons a little background. The Indian Heritage Foundation team will be introducing a premium service for its subscribers. We do have an Indian Heritage website already, but we are putting a new feature onto this. And this premium service is for subscribers, so persons can subscribe and contribute. The new two-tier system offers free content as well as exclusive content. And we will be moving to a full subscriber model over the next few months, and we'll be encouraging all our viewers to become a member of this free our premium site. The free subscribers will get access to all the latest news, the reports, and pictures published by the Indian Heritage Foundation, while our premium subscribers will get all that as well, and the exclusive access to our genealogy site, where you can query our comprehensive tree containing over 6,000 names of people of Indian descent, in addition to family stories and histories, along with the largest depository of Vincentian genealogy and pictures that will be available for viewing. So for this month of June, we will be offering this special subscription service at a price of £10. Persons can pay £10 for a year. It's normally £20 for persons to join such site. The website team has been working behind the scene for several years on this development. So finally, my team out there will be launching this site. And let me just recognize the team. I have members like Sean Bullock. He's located in Canada. We have Lenroy Thomas, who is located in Turkey. Noel Thomas and Kyrie Williams Somerville and Darren Bullock, they all three located in the United Kingdom. So this family tree and other data was supplied by numerous other persons across the globe, and we are pulling that together. So in a nutshell, persons can go on that site and put their family tree, up to 500 plus persons if they can identify on their family tree, because we always have people coming and calling for little information about their grandparents, their foreparents generally.
You may find out something new.
You will find something new. And this is an opportunity through our site, which will be launched tomorrow. It will be, people could access this through the SVG Indian Heritage site, and you can see what information is there. So we are launching that tomorrow. Tomorrow also, because it's Indian Arrival Day, I will share a message, and I will also use the opportunity to encourage persons to eat Indians, to wear Indian clothing as you may seem fit. I think that's enough for me to share about tomorrow. The big event is Sunday.
On Sunday.
So maybe I could just go and let persons know. We have been commemorating the Indian Arrival Day with a reenactment program. And last Sunday I shared a little bit about the reenactment with a global community. But this Sunday, we are going to start at Indian Bay, where a ship will arrive with some persons depicting the Indian, that they come in from India, landed at Indian Bay, and then we will be having their registration and so on, and the documentation on the arrival, and then we have a ceremony. This ceremony will take place from 8 o'clock Sunday morning at Indian Bay, with having addresses from the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the leader of the opposition as well. I will also deliver an address on behalf of the foundation, and other cultural items, and we'll end with some Indian breakfast on the beach at Indian Bay this Sunday. So it is for me to use this opportunity to encourage persons to come out to Indian Bay on Sunday morning to participate in another reenactment exercise and to celebrate our Indianness and our Indian heritage as we build that bond among our people. I will be focusing a lot on the subject of harmony and peace. This is an essential ingredient for the coming together of our people at this time.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you very much for coming, and may everything go well.
Looking forward and hope that the media will join us on this occasion.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Junior Bacchus from the Indian Heritage Foundation.